Melbourne Musos live. Oh, I'm calling this one Overlaps, and the reason being is because of flams. And I'm going to be getting into a couple of different things with musics, percussion musics of the world. Okay. Now, when I'm sort of doing a single stroke roll, getting straight into it. By the way, I have my patches in. It is the African kit, the African patches. There you go. There's constant. One of the people that I'm going to bring up in just a little bit is the drummers of Burundi, and also a little bit of a treatise on taiko drumming and pungamu drumming, the drumming music of Korea. There you go. Which I had the pleasure of seeing at a Womadelaide many years ago, and that's what it is. Oh. But I mentioned the word flams and overlaps. Now, when you're dealing with flams on a day-to-day basis, they're meant to thicken the sound. Woo, whoa, woo, rock you. Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Okay, so what happens is that you've got three kinds of flams. What happens is when you're dealing with any kind of accent sort of thing, when you're going... I generally tend to think in thirds. Regular watchers of the show should sort of go, oh yeah, he's going on about that again. Thirds. But when you bring them back together, and one is the grace note just before, there you have it. Now, when I was coming up, dear old Harold Ripper would call the big wide open flams, where you can almost hear the distance, but together. There you go. That's called an appoggiatura. Okay, wide open. We know it best as We Will Rock You. Back in the 70s, dear old Harold called it an African flam. And in the day, there was a band going around called Ossie Bissa. Who remembers them? Hey, the old timers. That's who. About 75, I saw them at Festival Hall. Oh, fantastic. Big flams. Oh, fantastic. And there you go. African progressive rock group. There you go. Now, what happens is if you're doing it more rudimentally, what you have is an appoggiatura, and that's very close. That's the typical marching flam when you're in a brass band or a whatever it might be, you know, sort of thing. So, but when you put them together, they're called a flat flam. There you go, that's out of the way. All right, that's all together. So there we are, three different types. Now, when you're talking about flams, this is just the first bit before I get a little bit tricky, is that one of the things is empty sounds. One of the innovators of funk drumming and someone we all love is Mr. Steve Gadd, and he came up with this thing where when you're doing, say, just a funky rock beat, like... I'll take the patches out just for this bit. I've done this on the show before. Then the producer will come in, hey Steve, we're missing a note on the hi-hat. You'd be there going, what do you mean? You know, that kind of thing. But look, if I take away the snare drum. You see? They want it all drum machine-like kind of thing. One of the big things in the 80s, you know. Post-industrial drumming is what I call it. You know, the drum machine was brought up to mimic drummers, but then all of a sudden, now drummers have to mimic drum machines, you know, that kind of thing, post-industrial. And what happens is that Mr. Steve, sitting at the kitchen, leave it with me, and he went. So what he did was put in a flam. See, add the flam in, fixed. Give me the money. Show me the money. So that's what goes on. Now, when you go to your 26 standard rudiments or your 40 PAS rudiments, Percussive Art Society, and all that, have to know them. There's 40, and there's a whole bunch of flam rudiments, you know, flam this, flam that. The silence of the flams. I've done that joke to death. Anyway, what it is that I'm just going to concentrate on just a couple. If I just did a single stroke roll, oh, pardon me, hiccup, and then I flammed them, and then I separated them, have a listen if I do this. Jingle jangle, there you go, there's it, there's that bit. Now, how about the humble flam tap? It's exactly what it is, it's a flam tap, flam tap. Split them. Thank you very much. I don't know where that came from. That wasn't scripted. And that's what that is. It's a flam tap. Then when you split them, you get that da-da-da-cha-cha-cha-cha. Beautiful. And then I'm going to do the flam accent, which is just triplets. And you get 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Okay, so you get 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then you flam them. They're often played in 6/8 time also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. Oh, beautiful. There's another one. I'll throw another one in. Swiss triplets. The Swiss Army were world champion drummers in the 70s. And they came up with this like secret weapon. And it was overlapping double taps to create the aforementioned triplet. So you'd have flam, right, left. So you have... Pick it up. Stays on the one side, the right-hand side stays there. So split them. Notice, got a bit of a shuffle there. And there they are. Now, I'm going to take the snares off because now I'm going all tribal on you. And that's why I have these multi-sticks, a mallet on one side and a stick on the other. Attack, I tells you, attack. Oop. So, what can happen, it takes away the attack of a cymbal. This is the reason why they exist. You can go... got to move them around. You see? Do whatever you want. Hey, ooh, ah. So that's what goes on. Now, what can start to happen is that when you're actually doing these kinds of overlapping things, I was talking about the hi-hats the other day, the other week with Jack DeJeanette, and last week's show was Paul Mochan, two jazz drummers I love dearly, with the hi-hat and doing different things. Now, if I just get the left foot working with the right hand and then went into a single stroke roll, I'd naturally catch the open hi-hat. I did this the other week. The hi-hat on all the beats like that is very John Bonham-esque, and also one of the things that happens with this, it's quite the thing with one Neil Peart from Rush, God bless his soul. So there you go. Now, if I did that, now here's something a bit different. If I'm now going to do the flam tap, like that. You see? There you go. Oh, ho, ho. Now, what happens if I start to draw on my love of African drumming, and now I'm going to go to a little bit of history and all this sort of business. The Drummers of Burundi is a wonderful set of people. Come on, technology. The Royal Drummers of Burundi, African, commonly known in recordings as the Drummers of Burundi or as the Master Drummers of Burundi, is a percussion ensemble originally from Burundi. Their performances are a part of ceremonies such as births, funerals, and coronations of Mwami kings. Drums called Karienda are sacred in Burundi and represent the Mwami fertility and regeneration. The royal drummers use drums made from hollow tree trunks covered with animal skins, in addition to the central drum called Inkiranya. I hope I said that properly. There are amashako drums which provide a continuous beat, and ibishkiso drums which follow the rhythm established by the Inkiranya. That's a lot like having a lead drummer in a marching band doing the snare drum stuff, and then you have call and response and things like that. And they're wonderful. I have their CD from Real World Records, part of the WOMAD kind of thing, started amongst others by Peter Gabriel. And the performance of the Royal Drummers has been the same for centuries, and their techniques and traditions are passed down from father to son. The members of the ensemble take turns playing the Inkiranya, dancing, resting, and playing the other drums, rotating through the show without interruptions. There you go. Oh, that's enough just for now. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a little bit of a thing with the reason why I'm using my multi-sticks, some people call them swizzle sticks, is the attack. You've got the stick, then you have the mallet, which takes away the cymbal thing but also gives you a more sort of takes the top end off of everything. So you get that. So if I started to take these kinds of rudiments that I was doing, like the flam tap, flam accent, what else did I do? The Swiss triplet, and then mixed it up. And if I split myself down the middle that way, I need my peripheral vision here. That's a little something. Jingle jango. Now, if I did that kind of thing, but started to bring in the hi-hat, you get that kind of... Now, just remember a couple of things. One of the things that I always talk about, and I've actually written it down as a little bit of a tip for my students at the end of the Grade 2 drum set manual, is shameless plugging. And sometimes the trickiest things to listen to are simply two simple things put together, you see. Now, if I'm just doing this with a hi-hat, that's not hard. If I'm just doing some of my basic rudiments, that's not hard with the diligent practice. I hope you're all practicing. Flam tap. You see, all of a sudden, oh, how's all this happening? Get it? Got it? Oh, good. There you have it. Now, taiko are a broad range of Japanese percussion instruments. In Japanese, the term taiko refers to any kind of drum, but outside Japan, it is used specifically to refer to any of the various Japanese drums called waideko. Japanese drums, that's what it means. And to the form of ensemble. Taiko drumming, more specifically called kumideko, means set of drums. The process of constructing taiko varies between manufacturers, and the preparation of both the drum body and skin and can take several years to complete. There it is there. Okay, and I'm going to go here now very quickly. One of the great taiko groups, I've got their DVD up there, is Kodo. Japanese taiko drumming has, I don't really need the thing. It's many centuries old. It's alluded to have come from China and Korea around about the 5th century. And I'm using dear old big ass Doris here as a de facto drum of Burundi, taiko drums with the sounds, that kind of thing there. But anyone who has seen taiko getting played, it's really quite a visual thing as well as being an incredibly percussive thing. I mean, the people have, the drummers have small logs and they've got this gigantic drum. Oh, that's fantastic. There you go. Such discipline. It's a whole art. Part of the overlap, you see. Now we know the best is flams. Now I'm using the humble flam tap, flam accent. We all know them, or we should. They're the main ones. Hoi! There you go. go. Third one, Pungmul drumming. I've already done a show on these way back when I saw the a wonderful ensemble called Dulsori at Womadelaide, way back when we were younger people. And I'm going to try and type that in very quickly. It's very similar. These styles are very similar, all three. However, they are of their own regions, and please don't call Pungmul drum. Isn't that a bit of Taiko? Yeah, don't. That's this. Pungmul is a Korean folk music tradition that includes drumming, dancing and singing. Most performances are outside with dozens of players all in constant motion. Pungmul is rooted in the Jure collective labour farming culture. It was originally played as part of farm work on rural holidays at other village community building events and to accompany shamanistic rituals, mask dance, dramas and other types of performance. During the late 1960s and 1970s, expanded in meaning and was actively used in political protest during the pro-democracy movement, although today it is most often seen as a performing art. There you go. When I saw them at Womadelaide, oh my, that sound, bang! And it was very different to say Taiko. I love Taiko, I've got it up there. I've got Pungmul, I've got it up there in my little collection. And it's just wonderful. And I've got the drummers of Burundi there as well. And all three of them are of their region with wondrous respect. I'm just in awe. And what it is when I'm sitting here and then I use my triggers. Once I got the triggers, oh my Lord, about 16 years ago now, it just opened up a whole other world, because all of a sudden... You know, that kind of thing. All because of these wonderful grooves. When I'm doing that with the hi-hat, imagine the hi-hats with the leather strap and all that sort of business. That's what they have in, especially in Pungmul. They had a lot of that. Happens. Flams. Normal flam there. Flam accent. Flam tap. Overlap. I didn't even do all the flams on the basic ones. So what we've got is single stroke roll. See, fills it up. Oi! got that on the brain. So, wrapping things up. Flams. Getting into flams. We know them best as snare drum rudiments. But when we take it off, when we start doing other things like using mallets, turn that around. All of a sudden that little open closed hi-hat thingy that I explained at the beginning of the show starts to Oi! Ba-ba-da-da-da. So I hope you get something out of this tonight. My name is Chris Quinlan. Welcome to and good night from Melbourne Musos Live. I do it all. You can probably see it's all in one take. There you go. Work the show up. Have a little bit of a warm up. Do my research. Hope that the technology is friendly to me today. And away we go. I love yous all. Mwah. All right. Take care. Oi!